Brought to you by...
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
A very good evening to you all and welcome to News Tonight this Monday, the 7th day of March 2022. First of all, let's have a look at our top stories.
Brought to you by...
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Bans land evictions. The Gatuna border post fully reopens. Milo land stalemate dominates Buganda-Luchiko debate. And in sports, Pilsner Monthly Award, Coach Timbe and Fuad Mukwala are January-February best.
Was brought to you by...
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma. His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni has banned all land evictions in the country that are carried out without the consent of the respective District Security Committees, DSCs. In a letter dated February the 28th, 2022, addressed to the Prime Minister, Right Honourable Robina Nabanja, and using his powers and Article 98(1) and 99(1) of the Constitution that enjoins him to ensure good governance and protect the Constitution, the President directed that no eviction should be allowed to take place in a district without the consent and direct observation of the District Security Committee, that is the DSC, chaired by the resident district commissioners or resident city commissioners, RDCs/RCCs, and direct consultation with the Minister for Lands. Mr. Museveni said if this is not done and the illegal evictions go ahead, the members of the District Security Committee will all be held responsible and action will be taken against them. This, however, excludes the UPDF representatives who may not be in the know of the substance of the issues involved. In the same communication, the President requested His Lordship, the Chief Justice, to prevail upon the justices and magistrates who violate the Constitution by illegally evicting people in collusion with land grabbers. He further directed the Minister of Lands to inform the Attorney General about such abuses by judicial officers so that legal action can be taken against them. Now, the two governments of Uganda and Rwanda have finally reopened the Gatuna border post after 3 years of closure since 2019. The closure of Gatuna border had paralyzed business for a while, and now their reopening is a big relief, especially to the business community. We have more in this report.
In February 2019, Uganda and Rwanda closed the Gatuna border due to political tension, an act that affected trade between the two East African member states. The two countries are now hoping for normal relations and smooth flow of traffic and people.
Now today is a graceful, a memorable, a fundamental day because now the lockdown caused by the border closure has also been removed today. I've been in touch with the leaders of Rwanda, it's behind me. I have seen migration officers, they are prepared to receive Ugandans coming to Rwanda. And what is even much more important, they have been restrictive in the cargo and products but this time there is no restriction. Whatever is marketable, you just bring inside Rwanda. They will buy as long as you know where you're going to sell it.
Kisoro LC5 chairperson Abel Bizimana thanked the first son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for pushing the big people to open to better the lives of people from the two countries. Geoffrey Murera, the secretary of Kisoro Produce Traders Association, applauded the two governments for agreeing to reopen the border. However, the COVID-19 pandemic is still a threat, and the people of Uganda and Rwanda have been urged to get fully vaccinated to curb the spread of the deadly coronavirus disease.
Very good news indeed. Now, Buganda Kingdom has dismissed allegations that Milo land system is the cause of land conflicts. Addressing Lukiko members in the second sitting of the 29th Buganda Luchiko, Katikiro Peter Charles Maiga advised the government to solve land problems like cases that overstay in courts rather than taking on Milo land as the cause.
The second sitting of the 29th Buganda Lukiko, chaired by the Deputy Speaker Ahmed Lwasa, convened to discuss matters directed to them by the Kabaka Ronald Mwenda Mutebi too. While speaking on land matters in Buganda Kingdom, the Katikiro Peter Maiga said Buganda as a cultural institution instituted a committee to look into land matters and report back their findings to the Lukiko to offer appropriate solutions.
Olukiiko luno okuwa amagezi ku kkubo Uganda lyesaanidde okukwata okugonjoola enkaayana z'ettaka. Emivuyo mu ttaka gye giri nga gisinziira ku ofiisi z'ettaka. Baddira ekyapa ky'akaterega ne bakiwandiisaako ekyampanga kungulu. Mpanga ne katerega ne balwanagana.
Maiga also called on the central government and security agencies to respect human rights. His calls follow media reports on torture of civilians by state security operatives.
Atoba amateeka gatugaana okutulugunya ebisolo ate olwo abantu abatulugunya abantu baleetebwe mu mbuga z'amateeka bavunaanibwe.
Katikiro also revealed that Buganda Kingdom is not in agreement with the decision of the Uganda Coffee Development Authority to withdraw Uganda from the International Coffee Organization.
Bwakabaka bwa Buganda buwagira kaweefube wa UCDA okulabanga nti naffe twesoga akatale gye batundira kaawa ali ku ssa y'okunywebwa tufune kasente akawera tuwagira kaweefube oyo kyokka.
The Lukiko passed a resolution to meet Uganda Coffee Development Authority to discuss on matters of withdrawing Uganda in International Coffee Organization. Andrew Sebira, Sadamu Bale, UBC News, Kampala.
The ad hoc committee of Parliament that was put up by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has officially started investigations into the Naguru-Nakawa land wrangles. The committee, sitting today, majorly discussed the terms of reference in the investigations. Let's get more in this story.
While chairing the plenary sitting on 1st March 2022, the Deputy Speaker, Anita Among, said there are fights related to the Naguru-Nakawa land which highlighted failures at the Ministry of Lands, Housing and Urban Development and the Uganda Land Commission. Among had to set up an ad hoc committee to further investigate the matter.
And I report to this House in 2 weeks' time so that we put this thing to the end.
The 9-member committee that is chaired by Kazo County MP Dan Kimosho has officially started its investigations into the deepening controversy over the land in question. The committee meeting today strictly discussed the terms of reference of the investigations.
As members, I want to plead ourselves again that we must be mindful of that previous record and work to correct that record.
It's not a new issue. This matter was handled in the 10th Parliament. A report presented on the floor of the House just about a month before the lapse in the time of the 10th Parliament. But unfortunately, it was a controversial report because members felt that certain key findings had been omitted.
The land in question had been allocated to the investor OPEC Prime Properties in 2007 to construct a satellite city, but was repossessed by government in 2018 when the developer failed. However, the former occupants who were evicted in 2007 also threatened to return to the land, citing lack of compensation.
So before we talk about meeting the previous occupants, a decision was taken and some payments supposed to have been made to these former occupants. It is my considered opinion that we start first by meeting the minister to know how far they went.
On 23rd February this year, State Minister for Lands Sam Mayanja wrote to the Prime Minister urging her to weigh in on the matter. He also said that stakeholders had agreed to stop all activities on the land for 3 months to allow government come up with a solution.
This time, we must act differently as leaders. Maybe Ugandans can get a ray of hope that there is a category of people who will work on a report and present it in its form and substance without touching or editing anything.
Shamim Naiga, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
So KCCA
Hundreds of people have flocked to the headquarters of the National Social Security Fund to apply for their savings through the window of midterm access. The managing director of the fund, Richard Byargaba, says the number is overwhelming and the fund is suspending all field activities in the meantime to attend to the people applying for their savings.
After the announcement on the operationalization of the NSSF Act amendments of 2021, the public has rushed to the National Social Security Fund to apply for part of their savings by utilizing the clause which allows midterm access.
We have many people, workers who are stranded, like we have been in Kororo. People slept in Kororo and there was nobody to attend them. No problem. So this is our money, we saved it.
The fund management is overwhelmed by the huge population applying for their savings and is planning special arrangements in open places.
Our uptake of payments is about 200 payments per day. Already today, we know that even just here at head office, we've had over 300 people coming into our premises. So we think that we will be able to take in at least as many as double the amount we would normally have taken in. That's about 800 set today, because it's the first day. And hopefully those numbers should then peter off as we go forward.
Those with unmatching personal details are advised to rectify before applying.
To be able to qualify, you will need your NSSF number given. We will need a passport photo given. We will need a valid bank account. Number 3, you'll need a phone number. And number 4, you'll need a national identity card.
The total number of eligible members for 20% access is 41,174, and the fund is expecting to spend 50 billion Uganda shillings every week in paying these members. This will affect the fund's investment strategy, especially in the capital market.
We've been investing in short-term instruments, and the reason is simple. Because we did not know when the law will be passed, we did not know when the president would pass it, but we knew that as soon as he passed it, people will be on our door.
This lump sum of money outflow from the fund will directly impact on the annual interests of the saving members.
Our target was to receive 1.5 trillion shillings this financial year. It looks like we will only achieve 1.3 trillion, 1.4 trillion, so we'll be short by about 100 billion.
Despite the midterm access provided for in the new NSSF amendment, the law also enlarged the scope of the fund operations.
We will be able to raise an additional 90 billion shillings due to the expansion of our mandate, because now our mandate includes employees who work for entities that are employing less than 5 individuals.
The fund is expecting to release at least 1.8 trillion Uganda shillings in payment to the 57% eligible beneficiaries in the midterm access window, and the average payment is 19 million Uganda shillings. Open places like Kololo Airstrip have been organized to cater for huge numbers of applying members, and the first payment will be made on the 17th of March 2022. Charlotte Amuge and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC News.
.
AMISOM, the peacekeeping organ in Somalia, is set to rebrand after operating for at least 15 years. The mission is to change to the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, with a new mandate and conditions.
As you may be aware, on 15th of March, AMISOM is winding up. And the transitional peacekeeping force of ANCIT are working together to ensure that Somalia is ushered into permanent peace.
Uganda is among the major contributors to the AMISOM body, and the government is committing to renegotiate new terms and conditions of the troops' stay in Somalia.
The mandate changes from the mandate of AMISOM of peace enforcement. As I said, this time the concentration is building capacity of the institutions of the Somali government.
UPDF is expected to reduce on the troops. This is because resources will reduce in this new mission because the country is gradually realizing peace and preparing for elections.
We shall see a scaling down of forces.
Kulaji also revealed that the UPDF ongoing Operation Shujaa in Kong is gaining momentum. Over the weekend, at least 15 ADF rebels were killed, recovering 8 guns and 80 ammunitions.
The force made offensive action against rebels of the ADF that had killed 16 Congolese civilians. The attack took place at Kirungu, where the joint forces were able to arrest 3 armed ADF rebels, recovered 8 guns, 80 rounds of ammunition of PK machine gun.
In other security concerns, police arrested 13 suspects in the ongoing crackdown against the urban robberies. These are suspected to have assaulted an Ethiopian diplomat last week.
If you observe the circumstances under which these victims are attacked, there are other members of the public, bystanders, other motorists, other riders on borders, but there is nobody who is actually coming out to assist.
Uganda Police has called all former serving officers eligible for pension to update their details. Records indicate 771 pensionable personnel have not yet submitted their life certificate.
And even copies of national IDs to police headquarters, pension registry. So we are carrying out this verification, which is going to run up to the 30th of March, 2022.
Other security operations, police are stranded with unclaimed 275 motorcycles, which were impounded in lockdown during curfew enforcement. Abdul Nasir Lubwama, UBC News.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Are you a consumer? Do you purchase movable second-hand items such as motor vehicles, household items, and many others? Don't be cheated. Carry out a search on the Simple Registry and verify whether the property you're buying has been used to secure a loan. Simple is the security interest in movable property registry system. It is an online registry hosted by URSB for registration of security interests on movable property. For more information, call us on our toll-free number 0800-100006 or log on to simple.ursb.go.ug. Simple, safer lending, easier borrowing.
This message was brought to you by Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
double MBs. For the same price on daily bundles with Airtel, now you get double MBs for twice your enjoyment. For 250 shillings, you now get double. That's 30 MBs. For only 500 shillings, you get 80 MBs. And for 1,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy 180 MBs. All valid for 24 hours. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to enjoy double MBs on your daily bundles for the exact same price with Airtel, the smartphone network.
National Medical Stores is a government agency mandated to buy, store and distribute medicines and medical supplies to government health facilities in Uganda. For Ugandans that we serve, help us serve you better by taking your individual responsibilities seriously. Report theft of government medicines and medical supplies to the nearest police station or to the State House Health Monitoring Unit. Do not pay for any medicines or medical supplies labeled Government of Uganda, not for sale. Do all that is within your means to stop all preventable diseases, including COVID-19. Continue observing the Ministry of Health Standard Operating Procedures, SOPs, including wearing a face mask whenever you are in public spaces. Visit a designated health facility to receive your COVID-19 vaccination and a booster dose for those that are eligible. Prevention is better than cure. National Medical Stores, passionate about your life.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay, FlexiPay or Bridge Schools. To pay school fees using Airtel Money for Bridge Schools, dial *185#. Select option 6, School Fees. Select option 1, Bridge Schools. Enter pupil ID. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
In all its operations worldwide, Total Energies considers national content a key component for the success of its operations.
Over 94% of the overall workforce are Ugandans, and we continue to recruit and mobilize more and more. Around 8,000 Ugandan nationals will directly contribute to Tilanga project only. More than $700 million is expected to be really spent in Uganda for these local goods and services. Already more than 160 Ugandan companies directly involved in our project.
This strategy was developed in line with the national content regulations of Uganda.
As PAU, I would like to recognize Total Energies, E&P, for their efforts in employing, training and skilling Ugandans.
Total Energies EP Uganda is committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development of the oil project in Uganda.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Government of Uganda, through the Uganda Bureau of Statistics (UBOS), is undertaking nationwide census mapping aimed at providing an up-to-date list of enumeration areas and administrative units in the country ahead of the National Population and Housing Census of 2023. The UBOS field teams will be using Global Positioning Systems (GPS) for mapping all administrative infrastructure, households and other facilities such as hotels, schools, hospitals and water sources to facilitate production production of the updated LC1 parish, sub-county and district area maps showing all the physical features and social amenities. The census mapping will further aid development of a countrywide data for information systems as a pillar for effective implementation of the parish development model. This is to appeal to the entire government leadership, all stakeholders and the general public to support the field teams that will be deployed across the country. Announced by Dr. Chris Ndatira Muchiza, the Executive Director and Chief Statistician. For further clarifications, please contact the Office of the Executive Director on 0755 342 128.
Raising voices.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Welcome from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of football clubs. Tinde Sam and Stephen Mukwala have been announced as the Pilsner Lager Coach of the Month and Pilsner Lager Player of the Month for January-February 2022. Out of 7 games played in the period, Ura won 5 and drew 1, bagging 16 points out of a possible 3-1 to earn Tinde the Pilsner Lager Coach of the Month accolade. During that same time, Stephen Mukwala scored 6 goals in 4 games against Sotilo Brightstars, Bull, Gaddafi and KCCA. He also had 1 assist and won 2 Pilsner Lager Man of the Match awards to earn himself the Player of the Month award. Now the duo earned themselves an accolade and 1 million shillings each. Now this award is one such Federation of Uganda Football Associations set up to improve morale of players and coaches to attain success.
Thank you, Stephen. Please get up at the front there.
There have always been hard times, but these days are harder than most. Everyone is hurting. Everyone needs help. But some among us are asking the question, what if we didn't have to go through life's hardest moments alone? What if we were in it together? And just by asking that question, he changed my son's life. He created an online crowdfunding platform for Ugandans to help raise money for each other.
Thank you, Nixon, for helping me.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
finally come to the end of this first edition of News Tonight. Our next bulletin will come your way at 10 p.m. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakoni, and I'm Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, but we are leaving you with the weather forecast for tomorrow with Molen Kinyana.
Yes, a very good evening to you, and thank you very much for watching UBC News. Time now to look into tonight's weather report. My name is Molen Kenyana. Now let's start it off with our satellite analysis. Now lately we've had mostly dry weather. However, this afternoon we did have a few rains across the Lake Victoria Basin as well as parts of southwestern Uganda. But from what we're seeing over the satellites, we do have more low pressure systems that are developing across the Indian Ocean, and one of that is actually a tropical depression that is headed for the northern parts of Madagascar. Now this is the same area that has been hit by 4 tropical cyclones in the last 1 month. Now we're seeing one here also coming forth. What this means is that we're going to have most of the moist winds being diverted towards this same area. If you can look at those white arrows that are coming closer to this, now that means that we will have reduced wet weather conditions even here across parts of Uganda. Now further to that, we also have dry winds that are coming in from the Arabian parts of the desert towards the country. Now a combination of that is what is keeping us with mostly dry and sunny weather across most areas within the country. Perhaps we could even be having the same for tomorrow, but let's take a look at Tuesday's weather forecast. Well, in the morning we will start it off with quite a pretty sunny morning across the northern part of the country as well as the eastern half of Uganda, but elsewhere we're likely to have sunny intervals. Nevertheless, we're also expecting those light rains, but that will be across a few areas within the western part of Lake Victoria Basin. Now later in the afternoon we're forecasting sunny intervals that will be across the northern part of the country as well as eastern Uganda. We're also likely to see rainy conditions develop across mostly the southwestern part of the country, but Kasese will maintain sunny intervals. Now looking at our daytime highs, we're forecasting quite a warm day across Kampala at 29 degrees, but also Jinja you will be at 32. Take a look at Soroti there, quite a hot day over there at 35. Same conditions will prevail for central parts of northern Uganda, and even hotter than that for the Karamoja region, who will be at 36. Now it's going to be another day where if you're around here or headed there, you will need to keep yourself with that water bottle. But we do have cooler temperatures for Kalale Highlands, but still warm weather over there, looking at a maximum of 26 degrees centigrade. Now some of the world cities that we have for you, we're forecasting sunny intervals that will be across Nairobi as well as Zanzibar. Quite a warm day for Zanzibar as well. Temperatures will be rising up to 33, and a sunny day is forecast for Addis Ababa, while Dubai will have sunny intervals with temperatures rising up to 32 degrees centigrade. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Molen Kenyana. Have a good day tomorrow.
Brought to you by.
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
In all its operations worldwide,
Total Energies
considers national content a key component for the success of its operations.
Over 94% of the overall workforce are Ugandans, and we continue to recruit and mobilize more and more. Around 8,000 Ugandan nationals will directly contribute to Tilanga project only. More than $700 million is expected to be really spent in Uganda for these local goods and services. Already more than 160 Ugandan companies directly involved in our project.
This strategy was developed in line with the national content regulations of Uganda.
As PAU, we would like to recognize Total Energies, E&P, for their efforts in employing, training and skilling Ugandans.
Total Energies EP Uganda is committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development of the oil project in Uganda.
Your MB MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Like the sea meets every shore, not an if but it's a when. From beginning, the sea meets every shore, not an if but it's a when. From beginning to the end.
Happy Women's Day to every woman out there. We are strong, we are celebrated. Happy International Women's Day to every woman in leadership, society, and every woman provided you're a woman. If we are celebrated, why not give a hand to each other? And I'm here to remind you that you're on the Life I Live, and I, for one, I celebrate every woman, either in politics, in churches, and different societies. I'll continue to celebrate you. Welcome to the Life I Live. Today I've just decided to work in town where I've visited an organization that deals with persons with disability. It's AD, and it has a woman who is going to take me through women with disability.
Like the sea meets every shore.
And happy International Day for all women out there. And today I've just decided to have a woman on this one show. She's not just a woman with disability, but she is also a leader, and she has done something. At least she has put in something on the struggle for women with disability. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Susan.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
You're fine, yeah?
My name is Amnadut Alice Mutenyo. I'm a woman with physical disability. I am born in Mbale, Namabasa sub-county. I acquired this disability at a tender age. I wasn't born a child with disability, but it was through polio disease in the 80s when it was rampant. That is how I got the disability. However, from there, I have been nurtured by my grandmother, who also enrolled me in a nearby school, Colony Primary School in Namabasa, where she really saw that I was a very bright child and encouraged me, supported me with all that she could to ensure that I kept in school. And from there, she found out that my mobility was not so good, and I would find challenges walking on the road as the vehicles were passing. So she decided to take me to a boarding school. When I went to the boarding school, it was St. Clair Girls, Namengo in Budaka district. And this school, actually, it had a section of children with disability and a section where children without disability were also staying. But we would study together during class time. So from there, I found life normal and easy because these children did not have to discriminate us because we were many and we would interact. So I started very well. After studying, I passed primary 7 and I was called to Wobolo Girls. But I want to tell you, Susan, the struggle to Wobolo Girls was not easy at all. When I reached there, I had paid all the school fees and all the requirements. But reaching the dormitory where I was allocated, those children, the girls rejected me, you see?
Okay, let's look at a situation. Did the school accommodate you knowing you have a physical disability, or they didn't know?
No, they didn't know because they had not seen me before. They saw a child who had performed very well and they admitted me. But when I reached there, the administration gave me a place, and there was a house that was specifically for girls with disability, where you are attached because it was self-contained and it was accessible. But when I reached there, the girls refused me. They said, no, we don't want those people. Those people are dirty, they smell, you know, they didn't like me at all. And this broke my heart, you know. I really felt like I should go back home. But now I imagined, where could I go right now after having paid all the school fees and everything? So it is the administration that came in, and I really cried. Now I imagined, how was I going to stay here for 4 years with children not liking me? But my grandmother, actually I saw her shedding tears. When she saw me crying, she also shed tears. So when I saw her shedding tears, I was so much broken. I said, now a woman who has been strong for me, if she can cry, it means now the world is crumbling. But again, she told me, you know what? You're not going anywhere. You're staying here and you're going to study. So,
okay, before we go further, in this situation, where was mom and dad? Because I've not had her